What do you do when your life collapses and God stays silent? That was Job's world. Not a small inconvenience, not a hard season, total ruin. And when the silence finally broke, the answer was not what anyone expected.
You want to know what I did wrong? So did I. I searched for the answer and found only silence. I was the kind of man people respected. I feared God. I turned from evil. I built my house in peace and watched my children laugh beneath its roof. Then everything broke. Not slowly, not in pieces I could manage, in waves. A messenger arrived, then another, then another. What I had was taken, what I loved was buried. And before grief could settle into my bones, pain entered my body too. I sat in ashes trying to understand what kind of world this was. A world where a man could walk faithfully with God one day and wake up inside ruin the next. That was the torment. Not only the suffering itself, but the question that came with it. Why? At first, my friends did something holy. They sat with me. No speeches, no corrections, no polished truth dropped into fresh grief. Just presence. And for a moment, that was mercy. But silence did not last. Soon they began to speak as if suffering were a formula, as if pain like mine could only belong to a man hiding sin, as if the size of my grief proved the size of my guilt. So I searched myself. I turned over my words, my choices, my secrets, my failures. I am not a perfect man, but I knew this much. My suffering was greater than any explanation they tried to force onto it. And that made the loneliness worse, because now I was not only buried in sorrow, I was surrounded by people who needed my pain to make sense. There is a wound deeper than loss. It is suffering while being told to explain yourself. I stopped trying to sound composed. I spoke out of grief, out of confusion, out of the ache of being alive in a world I no longer understood. I wanted God Himself to answer me, not my friends, not their neat conclusions, not borrowed wisdom dressed as comfort. I wanted a hearing before the Almighty. I asked what wounded people still ask now. What have I done? Why am I being crushed? Why does heaven feel silent when I have nowhere else to go? I did not hide my questions. I did not clean them up before lifting them toward God. And if that shocks some people, so be it. Pain does not speak in polished lines. It groans, it pleads, it reaches. So I reached, and for a long time the only answer I received was silence. Then the storm came. Not gently, not quietly, a whirlwind. And from that storm, God answered me. But not the way I expected. He did not explain my losses. He did not trace the reasons behind my pain. He spoke.
Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Who shut in the sea behind its doors? Who commands the morning? Who stores the snow? Who taught the hawk to soar? Who gives the wild creatures their freedom?
His words did not answer my question. They exposed it. I had been trying to measure the world by what I could understand, and my understanding was too small. In the storm, God did not shrink my suffering. He shattered the frame I was using to hold it. God did not give me a reason. he gave me a revelation.
This is what the storm taught me. I had been asking the wrong question. Not, why is this happening, but why do I expect to understand it? As if I were meant to see the whole, as if I were owed an explanation that matched the weight of my pain. But no man sees the whole story. No man stands outside it. That is not a flaw. That is the design. We walk through a world larger than our understanding, not held together by answers, but by the one who holds all things. And in that moment, I understood this. The God who commands the morning had not forgotten the man in the ash. So I answered him the only way I could, with humility. I had spoken of things too great for me, things I did not understand, and something shifted.
Not because my losses were restored, not because my questions were resolved, but because I had seen how small my view had been. Suffering had narrowed my world until my pain was all I could see. But God was never working inside that boundary. He was over all of it. The parts I understood, the parts I feared, and the parts I will never see. This is where every search for meaning breaks. We want an explanation big enough to justify our pain, but we do not have the capacity to hold it. And we were never meant to. We were meant to trust the one who does. So if you are walking through darkness now, hear this. Do not mistake silence for absence. Do not mistake confusion for abandonment. The God who met me in the storm has not lost sight of you. He is not threatened by your questions, and he is not limited by what you can see. He is working beyond it.
If this helped you see suffering differently, subscribe to Scripture Quest and continue with Solomon's story on the screen.